So we're ready? Sure. Okay. So let me introduce this afternoon. I invited two very experienced speakers. So let me introduce Michele Wisla and Dalip. Murjani.
Yes.
Please welcome. So why I invite you to come, because a lot of people in Hong Kong and Asia, they want to switch to plant-based diets. And two things, plant-based, I'm still not considering, okay? Number one, I think vegetarian or the vegetable food doesn't taste good, correct? No? Okay. You have to teach us. Okay. Number two,
we can talk about that.
Yeah, okay. Number two is it's too difficult to cook a vegetable diet. Is it correct?
No,
No,
not at all.
So let me hand it over to Michele to talk about how to eat a healthy and tasty vegetarian food. Okay. Thank you, Michele.
Thank you, Peter, for the introduction. Thank you for having me here. I'm really thrilled to be here to be able to talk with everyone about my love of plant-based foods and also talk about the Zinzino vegan oil, because that's truly what I believe in and actually why I'm here with Zinzino. But for plant-based eating, what brought me to plant-based eating was health, was nutrition. A lot of people go to a vegetarian or a vegan diet maybe to not harm animals. They don't want to bring harm to the world, which is a very valid reason for changing their diet. But then sometimes people also end up to be eating what we call a vegan junk food diet, which an Oreo cookie is vegan, right? I mean, so you could eat Oreo cookies all day long and call yourself a vegan. And something that's been happening recently in the movement of plant-based eating is eating for health. There's been a lot of scientific nutritional studies that have come out, or really that are kind of being brought to light by a lot of doctors. T. Colin Campbell is one who did a book called The China Study, which actually looked at plant-based eating in China back in the 1980s and really came to see eating a diet that's 90% or more plant-based is really turned out to be the healthiest way to eat. There's also been another researcher, Dan Buettner, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, that did a study on the blue zones of the world, the longest lived populations. They tend to eat 90% plant-based. Also, Dr. Greger with his nutritionfacts.org studies a lot of nutrition studies all around the world. He looks at every single research paper that comes out that talks about reducing your risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and it all comes down to risk mitigation. Like what we eat, what we put in our bodies, what's at the end of our fork really goes to what our risk is for getting these chronic diseases. It's impossible to prevent anything 100%. When we go into a car or get on an airplane, to a certain extent, we're deciding what risk we're willing to accept. And same with food, what you're putting in your body, what level of risk do you want to accept, or do you want to try to, reduce your risk to have the best, healthiest, longest lifespan, as far as if we see that we're living longer these days, the average lifespan keeps getting longer and longer, but is it a healthier lifespan? Are we free from drugs? Are we free from surgery? What helps with that, they've found, is a plant-based eating pattern that's 90% or more plant-based eating. So what I love about it is I love to do what I call culinary nutrition. And I love to teach people how to make plant-based food taste good. Because I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to be eating salads all day long. I'm not going to be full. I'm going to be hungry. What do I eat? How do I get balanced nutrition? So I like to show people how to make their plant-based food taste yummy. Because to me, there are certain flavor tricks that you can do with acid food, with healthy sweeteners such as date sugar, sugar rather than using white sugar. So I work with all that and I show people what to do, because in the last 1-2 generations, we've kind of lost that. And we went to eating a lot more processed foods, not even necessarily animal foods, but a lot of processed foods. Okay, I'm going to let you translate. Sorry, I'm not going to go on. It's my passion. I love.
咁我呢好快咁幫阿 Michele 佢講好多重點嘅，咁我抽咗幾個出嚟想同大家分享翻。咁佢就話咧，其實好多人會從佢哋嘅平時會食肉嘅習慣啦，可能因為唔想再見到啲動物被殺害啦，或者想健康啲，但係佢話原來咧有啲人咧以為自己食素係健康嘅，例如佢話食 Oreo 嘅曲奇餅咧都係屬於素嚟嘅，但係嗰啲屬唔屬於健康嘅素食咧就唔屬於嘅。咁所以咧，阿 Michele 佢而家嘅工作咧就係去教大家點樣去將一啲植物嘅一啲餐單整得好食同埋整得健康嘅。Okay, please continue.
Okay, all right, sure. Thank you. Thank you for the translation. So one of the other things too, though, that we find with nutrition is that there are a few vitamins that we do need to get through supplementation. One of them for plant-based eaters and really for any eater is vitamin B12. We find out that B12, it used to be in the soil. It was, on vegetables. And when we ate a little bit more, less sanitary, we were eating a lot of bacteria maybe 100 years ago, but our food, allowed us to get B12 naturally. Now that we live in such sanitary conditions and the soil has been used so much and really destroyed, we're not getting our B12. So we need to supplement that. And even animals, I just make one more point, even animals get the B12 through the food. It's put in usually as a supplementation in their food. So if you think you're getting B12 from eating burger, you're actually getting it through the supplementation that the cow is eating.
好啦，咁另一個咧就係Michele 佢提到個重點咧，就係通常啲素食嘅人士咧，佢會缺乏其中一種叫維他命啊，就係 B12嘅。咁佢就話其實 B12喺我哋過往咧嘅土壤裏邊係好豐富嘅。咁因為而家嗰個土壤可能過分耕種啦嚇，咁啲營養流失咗啦，所以喺植物裏邊能夠有嘅 B12都係缺少咗嘅。
So then that actually brings me to the omega-3, which is another one that I know as a vegan I need to supplement, and I know even as a if you eat animal products, you need to probably supplement that. And it's funny, when I first learned about Zinzino, I knew that I was I was being very careful to eat flax seeds every single day. We ground them, put them in our cereal every morning, and we were also eating chia seeds in our smoothie and eating nuts and other seeds. So, I knew I was getting the omega-3, but I also knew that of the omega-3, the ALA, the short chain fatty acid, was the one that I was actually eating. And I know that our bodies actually convert that into the long chain of DHA and EPA. And I knew that some people's bodies weren't efficient at doing that, but I thought, well, I'm probably doing it right because I'm doing it every day, every 24 hours pretty much. But I thought, well, let's take the test. Let's see how we do with the balance test. And I just wanted to see, is it working? And oh my gosh, so shocked because my ALA level was over 80% higher than what it needed to be, but the DHA and the EPA was so far below. So I was one of those people that thought I was doing it right. And then, come to find out, some of the nutritional heroes that I have, like the Dr. Greger and the Dr. Will Bolsowitz, do recommend taking an algae supplement for plant-based eaters. So, I found my supplement. So that's kind of my story. Yeah, like a little embarrassing, but yeah.
Very interesting, not embarrassing. Okay. May I
want me to
share?
tell?
May I share your
yeah.
embarrassing experience? OK， 咁Michele 佢就講咗一個好得意嘅、好有趣嘅個人經歷啦嚇。咁佢一直就有知道Omega-3咧係佢其中一個身體需要嘅關鍵營養素嚟嘅。咁由於佢係素食主義者啦，咁佢就會食一啲flaxseed oil 係亞麻籽油啦，同埋食一啲奇亞籽嘅一啲補充品嘅。咁佢知道佢身體係會 能夠轉化一啲叫 ALA 即係短鏈脂肪酸咧，去到 EPA 同埋 DHA 嘅，即係以佢嘅理解嚇。咁啊，但係佢話：咦唔好靠估啦，不如試下做個 test 啦嚇。咁佢做完個 test 之後咧，就發現咧佢都係個評分係好差嘅，係啦。咁係但係個教導時候佢講俾你聽佢19:1 19 to 1
19
But I can tell you are not the worst. I know someone who is plant-based is much worse than you. 我知道有啲食素嘅。
Sorry, but did you tell them why? What time of year it was? It was
yes,
during
yes.
Chinese
Okay.
New Year, and I love gok chai.
咁咧another very interesting experience。咁佢話咧，佢驗嗰個做平衡測試嗰段時間咧，就啱啱係香港嘅新年期間係啦。咁啊有啲節日關係啦。其實阿 Michele 佢係喺2006年已經喺香港居住嘅，住咗15年嘅，所以佢已經融入咗我哋香港或者中國嘅文化。佢會食傳統啲叫角仔咁角仔其實油炸㗎嘛，所以攝取咗好多啲植物油，可能就擾亂咗佢嗰個結果嘅嚇。咁但係佢話佢好開心，佢揾到一個係唔錯嘅一個supplement係可以幫佢補充到呢個 omega 3嘅。Yeah.
That's true. I got that part. Yeah. So that's how I became a Zinzino convert, and why I love the vegan balance oil, and I really believe in it. I also believe, one of the other reasons that people are turning plant-based is because of what's happening with the climate crisis. And I don't know if people here have seen some of the movies that are out about, the different climate crisis, but the fish. The amount of fish in the ocean is a problem. Even if we can find, Zinzino can find a safe source to get their fish oil supplement, it's a dwindling supply. More and more people are wanting it. More and more people are wanting to take the healthy fish oil, and more and more people are being born on the planet, and we're getting less fish. I actually happen to be working with a company in Hong Kong that is working with microalgae. So I was actually into doing test recipes for this company using a form of microalgae. So I was familiar with algae. So what I loved is that Zinzino is actually using the microalgae in their supplement and looking for ways to increase that and use it more. So I had the opportunity to talk with them a little bit more in depth before I actually joined in as a partner, and learned that they really strongly believe in the vegan algae oil. So I really love that about the ethos of the company.
Good. Okay. 咁就阿 Michele 佢有提到啦，其實我哋要睇翻我哋而家氣候嗰個問題啦，即係動物可能喺個養殖嘅過程咧，即係我嘅理解啦，可能會排出好多啲氣體出嚟，會加速咗呢個溫室效應，影響呢個全球嘅氣候嘅。咁同埋佢睇翻咧，如果係魚油嚟自魚咧，其實嗰個因為人嗰個人口係不斷咁增加，但係魚嗰個數量其實遠遠追唔上我哋人口增加個速度嘅。咁所以阿 Michele 佢就話，如果有一個更加之好嘅方案咧，將一個omega 3嘅補充來源係可以唔使純粹依靠魚可以睇翻一個嚟自海洋植物即係海藻啦嘅來源咧，其實係一個非常之可持續發展嘅方案嚟嘅。咁所以呢個亦都係令到啦阿 Michele 咁欣賞我哋公司其中一個原因。
Yeah, so yeah, I love the company. And then the other thing about the oil is that it, excuse me, it tastes great. I really love that they have the different flavor, that it's mixed with the olive oil. So I can actually eat it a little bit more with my food, and I don't feel like I'm taking a pill too when I'm taking that. So I really think that that's a great part of the product. Yeah. And Dalip, you love to just
For me, I'm
too,
fine
right?
to have it. I think it tastes great. it's a matter of a preference. She likes to put it in with a salad or with a, with the food and to mix it up. But both
Yeah,
ways are
maybe
fine.
use a little bit more than I need to, just because of I try to use it in my cooking and in the way that we make our plates up, with different types of legumes and greens and rice and grains, and the different vegetables. So I just like to kind of pour it on top of there a little bit on the generous side, so to make sure that I get enough of it. But the key, is the taste, is the sustainability of using the vegan oil. And also, as far as the health, taking the omega-3s. So, yeah.
Very good. OK， 咁啊，就除咗頭先講嘅幾個重點啦，就講到最實際啦。呢啲又係要食噶嘛。咁個味道係點樣咧？咁從阿 Michele 佢個人嘅comment 啫，或者佢嘅睇法啦，佢覺得好好味嚇。咁啊，純粹就咁飲都已經好好味㗎。佢話可以配合佢嘅主食啊。佢咧Dalip 啦，佢就會將佢加落啲沙律嗰度啦，我哋做嗰個
沙律，我自己就咁樣飲啦，我已經覺得好好味。
你會講廣東話嘅？總之我一開始就用廣東話啦。
How do you think I survive here?
I'm a teacher.
你會說普通話嗎？
我會說普通話一點點，我是在北京2年。現在我忘記了，
你忘記了？我們現在開始用普通話說好了，然後不用翻譯了，好不好？Okay. So I think Michele, we want to learn about your profession, or so you have your own workshop, teach people how to cook tasty and cook healthy. So can you tell us a little bit about your workshop?
Sure. Yes, I do a one-on-one consultation with people. I actually work with them through Zoom calls if they want to learn a little bit more about nutrition. But I also go to their homes and we can do what I call a pantry clean out to kind of go through their pantries and see, do they have the Jif peanut butter sitting there, or do they have the all-natural peanut butter with, no salt and, the good stuff. We look at what they have. I help to teach them, how to make, say, no oil dressings. We can do a no oil Caesar salad dressing, no oil ranch dressings. We can do healthy desserts that are really fiber fueled cakes and brownies and pies. I have a specialty of a chocolate pie that's like a chocolate cream pie, but there is no dairy in it. It's actually made with silken tofu. And it is the most heavenly pie. It gets fantastic reviews. So I teach people how to incorporate plants, get rid of the dairy, get rid of the processed foods, the white sugar. We go through that. So I do that one-on-one here in Hong Kong, where I'm based. But I also work with people creating courses. I have online courses that I do a 5-week pivot to plant-based course that I work with people. And then I'm also working to build up to a monthly membership where I help people every month with different kind of to-dos and tasks and give them information to learn how to become plant-based. It's like I said, it's not all about becoming vegan all the time, although of course I am, but it's more moving in the direction of eating more plants on your plate, because the less processed food, the less animal products, the healthier you are. Right now, there's statistics that we can see in the US where, maybe 10 to maybe 15% of the average American diet is plant-based. It's 60% of it is processed foods. That really just are not healthy, and getting into, a lot of the meats and how they're created and dairy and how that's made, and some of the bad stuff that, the hormones that's in that and not so good for people to eat, that in that at least that large of a quantity. If you, think you don't want to give it up totally, well then don't, take it down to 10% of your calories. Try, have your treat. Like I have my gok chai once a year, right? So it's not about being perfect. It's more moving in the direction that you feel better, you're healthier, you know, you have a better body mass index, you know, you're at less risk of, you know, having medication for, say, diabetes or you know, high blood pressure or high cholesterol. It's just really trying to move to get rid of those things and enjoy your food, the taste, because I actually think plants taste awesome when you really know how to use sauces and pickles and, you know, different things to bring on your plate and get that blend of taste. You really start to see, hey, there's something to this. Your taste buds change and you really taste your food the way you're meant to. Rather than having, you know, the big food manufacturers, you know, flavor chemists, you know, messing with your food and adding way too much fat, way too much sugar, so that your tongue becomes accustomed to that, and that's what you crave. And that's what happens to people is they, through no fault of their own, they start to crave that. The manufacturers, the food manufacturers actually try to make their food, you know, the J's, you know, the potato chip, you can't eat just one. There's a reason you can't eat just one. It's filled with fat and salt, so you want more. So yeah, that's what I work on.
I hope I can memorize.
I talk so much, like I'm sorry.
咁頭先我係想問一問阿 Michele， 跟住佢其中一個專業咧就係去做一個1對1嘅一個consultation， 即係教導嘅。咁啊包括咧令我覺得好有趣喎，原來佢係會去你哋嘅廚房嗰度咧去大掃除嘅。佢檢查咧，你平時嗰啲日常嘅食材係咪真係健康？即係佢假設你係想去做plant base 嘅，即係想食素嘅。佢話原來啲植物油咧、植物牛油咧都有啲健康同唔健康嘅喎。佢會去你個屋企個廚房度抌晒啲唔健康嗰啲食材嘅。咁啊，另外咧佢就話而家我哋好多嘅日常飲食咧，都係被一啲叫過分加工食物咧去影響嘅。咁呢過分嘅加工食物咧，第一佢個製造嘅過程裏邊咧，就係將一啲好重要嘅營養素就拎走晒啦嚇，佢加多糖啊，加好多啲鹽啊落到去，佢令到大家做啲咩？令到你上癮嚇，令到你越食越多嗰啲零食，即係佢舉咗個例，即係薯片啊，你會唔會打開嗰桶薯片食一塊就停啊？通常你停唔到，因為佢嗰啲味道就會令到你咧係忍唔住係咁食、係咁食、係咁食落去㗎。咁同埋咧，阿 Michele 佢就話其實當我哋識得去煮一啲用植物為主要食物來源嘅一啲餐單咧，其實你個飲食係非常之開心嘅可以嚇。咁但係咧一定要用一個啱嘅方法啦嚇。咁我知道阿 Michele 咧其實佢係佢個 workshop 咧有個網上嘅一個平台啦。就係佢有啲免費嘅素食餐單咧，係可以俾大家去學習嘅嚇。咁或者我問一問佢可以點樣攞到嗰啲免費嘅呢個餐單啦。So Michele, if we want to learn from you on how to cook a tasty plant-based diet, how can we learn from you?
You can go to my website. I believe you have a link that you can maybe put in the chat. It's called ourconsciouskitchen.com, and people can go there to sign up. There's even a direct contact me form, and I answer everybody who connects with me. So you can go and experience. I have a weekly newsletter where I send out information with recipes, some things about health, you know, just imparting some nutritional information. I like to say that my newsletter is a space where I put together food, nutrition, and environment. And I've got a blurb about each that I do every week, so nothing too long to overwhelm people. But you can connect with me there. So yeah, I would love to hear from anybody who's interested to further connect and learn about plant-based eating. It's all about, you know, learning and eating and having fun together and you know, figuring out how do we eat better food? How do we make it yummier? You know, so. Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome. 好啦，咁阿 Michele 佢已經話嗱，你可以喺畫面上邊咧就有佢哋嘅網址啦。咁你可以去呢個網址咧就可以免費 subscribe 佢呢個頻道咧。咁佢每個星期咧都會有啲電子嘅一啲通訊咧，就係會你唔使去諗我今日或者今個禮拜要食啲咩啦。佢有啲餐單咧就可以俾你哋參考嘅嚇。咁同埋佢會定時咧會有啲資訊啦，關於健康飲食嘅資訊咧，佢都會 send 翻俾呢啲訂閱嘅朋友嘅。咁我哋今日咧就訪問阿 Michele 嘅時間差唔多啦，但係我想同阿Dalip 咧用廣東話去傾下偈啊，好唔好？冇問題啦。So we have to switch back to Cantonese channel. OK. 咁阿Dalip 其實我想訪問下咧，其實 或者你可唔可以自我介紹一下你嗰個？我知道你喺香港出世嘅，係啦，咁但係
香港出世喺呢度長大㗎，
喺呢度長大嘅嚇。咁其實我知道你係屋企人係印度嚇。咁我其實我哋最近公司咧就開始將我哋個平衡測試咧就係開發到去印度嗰個市場嘅。咁令到我係好震驚咧，因為本身我哋平衡測試嗰條紅線去到75:1就已經盡㗎啦嚇。咁因為去到印度市場咧，我要將嗰個上限咧去到125:1啊嚇。咁我最新翻嚟咧係有好多印度嘅朋友做完咧係140、150:1嘅。咁我想訪問下，即係你嘅屋企人係其實佢日常飲食係點樣嘅咧？
咪都係點講咧？都係多數都係可能係食好多油啊。
食好多油，
I think 呢個一個好大影響。
唔係呢啲油啊，
唔係呢啲油，應該要食呢啲油，唔係食緊呢啲油嘅。咁I think呢個一個好大嘅影響。
佢多唔多食海產㗎？
好多係食素咯，
都係食素嘅，係
素係多咯。because of the religion。I think 個油係最大個影響。個樣嘢煮咩都好啦，都擺好多油㗎啦。
但係你哋會食好多香料嘅，
好多香料。係，咁嗰啲香料就會有啲補，即係會help 到啲啦。但係呢個油係個主力個最大問題。
都會多謝晒你嗰個第一身嘅分享。其實我都有問過一啲專家咧，其實印度人士佢哋每日咧，佢哋會食好多香料嘅。其實啲香料其實裏邊有多酚嘅，有 polyphenols嘅。咁同埋一個統計咧，原來佢哋一餐咧嘅香料咧係等於一個歐洲人咧一年嗰個份量嚟嘅。即係佢食一餐咖喱，可能佢嗰啲香料已經係等於可能 Michele 一年嘅份量嚟㗎啦。咁所以但係各樣嘢都希望係做到個平衡啦。每一樣嘢都要係唔好太多，唔好太少，係啦。最緊要對身體好嗰個平衡咧，盡量咧去揾一個又好味咁好味嚇，或者咁好味嘅方法咧，去幫助自己去攝取翻嚇。咁我哋再一次俾個掌聲阿 Michele 同埋我哋咧，俾一個掌聲係啦。Thank you Michele，thank you 俾你。
我即係講一句，
可以。
我就俾你即係個感覺，即係我 happy 我食咗個油之後啦，因為我已經食咗3個幾月，我已經覺得好大個分別，因為我覺得我個精神好咗好多啦。瞓覺我覺得又好啲。個最大個分別係咩咧？我不嬲我啲腳咧，嗰個 ankle 嗰度啦，即係我成日喐嚟喐去咧，成日都幾腳㗎，有啲聲。咁我已經食20年啦咁樣。點知我食咗呢個油之後咧，2個幾月後咧，冚唪唥冇晒。咁我覺得呢個已經有好大個分別啦。
好多謝你呢個，因為再一次多一個朋友咧，有個我嘅關節嗰個改善咧，有多個個案啊。因為我相信在座咧都有好多朋友咧係聽過我膝頭哥，即係我個女成日話我爸爸你唔好再整啦，我好驚啊嚇。咁我而家唔會表演㗎啦嚇。
你個份量一日幾多？
我就7.5 ml， 係，因為你計翻你嘅重量咯。
其實對於個關節嗰啲痛症咧係非常之，即係對於我啦，對於你嚟講，
我其實好 surprise，可以點解變咗冇咗嘅？一不嬲我坐喺度睇電視，咁我成日喐個腳，因為唔係咁舒服。點知喐喐下，點解冇晒聲嘅？跟住我同阿 Michele 講，點解冇晒聲喎？係咯，真係呢個係一個好大嘅改變。
同埋靚仔咗咯，覺得你食咗3個月之後，真係。好啊，咁我哋下次希望有機會再邀請到阿 Michele 同埋阿 Dalip 嚟幫我哋分享啦，好唔好啊？多謝晒兩位，多謝晒。
Can I ask a question to Michele?
可以答，你等我一陣先。
healthy because you're not getting a good assortment of nutrients, right? So it's like a sliding scale. It's like you've got the black and the white, right? The good and the bad. If you're moving, say, from meat to an omni pork or beyond meat, that's kind of in the middle. If you get over to where you're making your homemade, chickpea burger, kidney bean burger, that's healthier. So as far as, going from a pork to omni pork is healthier. But could it be healthier if you make it in your own kitchen? Yes, it could be, right? But some people don't have the time. Maybe you're at a restaurant. You don't want to eat it every single day, maybe every single meal. Again, going back to that kale analogy, right? You don't want to eat it 100% of the time, but you're mitigating risk, right? You're not eating the pork, you're not eating the beef. So you're making your risk chance factor a little bit better, living in our modern society, in the world, the way we live, the way we go out to eat. You're not always making your own things at home. So it's how do you, for your own body, make your decision. Oh, maybe you eat omni pork only when you go out, or maybe you have it in your freezer as a once a week meal for that quick night that you're taking the kids out to do some activity, whatever it is for you. So
thank you.
好，
我覺得個問題，
可以。
我想問下咧，剛剛一樣嘅，就係嗰啲印度人，即係做咗個 test 啦，咁佢哋 over 100啦，咁其實佢哋有冇一啲嘅已經出現咗個病啦，或者係個身體嘅狀況出現咗啲咩嘅問題咧？即係當佢哋已經可能 over 咗100。
So 你係想問Dalip？
OK，sorry。OK，so I think 你主力，如果你知道，如果你係 over 100，咁即係你個 body 係 inflame 咗。That's the reason， since you know oil come in right， because 你係 inflame，because 你係 imbalance，because 你係太多omega 6，你唔夠3。That's why 如果你食咗個 omega oil 啦，你會 become more imbalance， 即係你 increase 翻你嘅 omega 3。咁 I think 呢個係最大嘅分別啦。你一定要食，如果你唔食，你一定係 become imbalance， 你一定有發炎。咁發炎會影響你嘅腦啊、你嘅心啊、你嘅成個入邊嘅狀態啊、你啲頭髮啊、你啲手甲啊、個皮膚啊，一定有會影響嘅。
我意思即係話佢哋做咗個 test 咧，已經 over 咗100啦。係。咁佢嗰一刻嘅佢會唔會佢已經有一啲嘅病已經係發生咗？
呢個我想幫Dalip 去答一答先。其實因為佢驗完嗰個叫做平衡測試咧，佢係有一個指標係啦。咁個指標即係代表你身體嗰個促鹽嘅omega 6，即係 AA 處於一個咩水平，同埋嗰個指鹽嗰個叫做 EPA 處於一個咩水平啊？咁當然啦，你 check 嗰個 moment 佢反映當刻鐘或者當時。倒數翻120天你嘅飲食係點樣嘅嚇？咁但係當你長期處於一個慢性發炎咧，可能呢個慢性炎症會引起啲叫退化性嘅慢性疾病，例如一啲叫做腦退化、心血管疾病啊，一啲糖尿病二型啊，即係啲代謝綜合症。其實呢啲係因為你長期處於一個慢性嘅發炎，而你冇處理好佢你係完全無視佢你繼續你嘅虐待自己嘅飲食咁你慢慢呢啲已經係呢度火嗰度火，去形成到一啲已經形成咗一啲叫慢性嘅問題，咁其實太遲嘅。咁我哋嘅方向或者個出發點咧，就唔係話去診斷佢做完個 test 之後有啲咩病，其實俾佢知道佢嘅飲食係補充得足唔足夠佢啲關鍵嘅營養素咁解嘅，好冇啊？好。咁我呢度咧，其實距離下一段咧就仲有20分鐘時間咁或者呢度咧係線上嘅直播咧，我就暫停一陣啦。咁如果大家係想去同Michele 去攞個聯絡方法去學習佢呢個健康嘅飲食咧，咁可以喺而家嘅時候咧，大家可以同我聯絡下，或者係歡迎大家咧去試一試我哋今日為大家準備好嘅一啲產品啦，可以試下啲味道啦，好冇？咁我哋大概咧就3點鐘咧，我哋另一位嘉賓咧，同大家去分享佢嘅使用我哋嘅產品嘅心得，同埋點解佢會咁中意食魚油丸，係啦，多謝晒大家。
多謝。